Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslidge. The Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center of DVCAC held their 24th annual Break the Silence, Break the Cycle luncheon and fundraiser at Windows on the River. The event, emceed by former radio personality and current public information officer for the Cleveland Municipal Courts, Ed Flash Ferentz, served to raise awareness for domestic violence and to raise money for the DVCAC.
I've been involved with the Domestic Violence Center for a number of years. I had the opportunity to MC this event for several of those years. And the statistic that really took my breath away was the one where 1 in 4 women sometime in their lifetime, 1 in 4 would be a victim of domestic violence.
Polly Fury, board president for the DVCAC, thanked everyone for their support and said the organization is able to help more people than ever before.
We appreciate your support in the challenge towards ending domestic violence and child abuse and building a safer community for everyone. Our work isn't easy, yet it's so essential to ensure that victims have the tools to triumph over trauma.
A powerful and moving speech was given by Melissa Domehill, who was stabbed over 30 times by her ex-boyfriend. Her ex was sentenced to life in prison, and now Melissa, who says her being here is a miracle, has a new lease and purpose on life.
That was a defining moment in my life. I could no longer silence my inner voice telling me I was saved for something bigger. I had to let go of my plan and follow God's plan, meaning I had to take a huge leap of faith. I quit my job at the hospital, I changed my school path away from nursing, and I decided to become an advocate for the organization that helped me rebuild my life in Clearwater, Florida, called Hands Across the Bay.
Melissa got married this year to the firefighter who was the first one on the scene to give her aid. For more information on the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center, visit their website at dvcac.org. I think that gives a lot of women some hope. Citizens in need of a second chance got just that. TV20 reporter Dan Monroe explains.
Judge Emanuela Groves of the Cleveland Municipal Courts is a firm believer in giving those who need it a second chance, or a way to hit the reset button on their lives and get back on track. Through a program called Get On Track, participants who qualify have a chance to earn their GEDs. The program is not easy, but Judge Groves says that those who persevere have a chance for a better life.
It's discouraging at times when they see they're not where they want to be, and so sometimes many of them have a false start, they get disappointed. But we will be celebrating those who were persistent and that they did complete the test.
Kristen Tucker found herself in the bars before she met Judge Groves, and now she's on her way to getting her associate's degree in business administration.
I'm glad that I took the steps and worked the program because I'm successful today.
Graduate Angelique Silva's story starts back in 2003 when she was forced to leave school to take care of a family member's child. After 10 years of working for her GED, Angelique now has plans for her future.
I'd like to actually go back to school, go into college. I've been thinking about going in for a business and culinary class. I'd like to open up a small little restaurant or a cafe.
For years, Sandra Garth oversaw Project Learn, which helped countless people achieve their GEDs. Garth says getting an education of any kind is important.
Education is essential. Without education, they're not going to make it. It's important that we, as a village, come together and begin to try to educate these kids. We got to pull them off the streets. We have to pull them from wherever they're hiding at and get them in these classrooms and get these classrooms filled because they're not being filled. We have to fill them so that we can begin to educate our children.
At Tri-Cities Metro Campus, for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Cleveland Municipal Court housing judge Ronald O'Leary brought his neighborhood clinic to Mary Queen of Peace Catholic Church in Old Brooklyn. The clinic offers residents a chance to enter into a dialogue with the judge through a town hall setting to learn about new housing programs and to address any questions or issues the residents may have.
I'm going to tell you, generally speaking, what the law is on a number of things. One of them, you're correct, your landlord cannot just go into your home. The landlord can go into a property if there's an emergency. So if your landlord were to come over and smell gas, or see smoke coming out, or goes up to the front door and there's water rushing out from under the front door, those are emergencies where a landlord is legally able to just go in.
One of the biggest areas of concern among those in attendance was the demolition of vacant and condemned houses. Ward 12 Councilman Anthony Brancatelli attended the clinic to offer some insight.
One of the primary issues we've been hearing, and especially in some of the more distressed neighborhoods, is when is that condemned house going to get knocked down? What about these industrial buildings? And the good news is the administration and council worked together. We put an additional $8 million, and we also specifically added the caveat that we can take some of the commercial buildings down, which has always been a problem.
It was a celebration in City Council chambers as 14 of Cleveland's finest were promoted in rank. As Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson read the oath of office, 10 patrol officers were sworn in as sergeants, and 4 sergeants were sworn in as lieutenants.
And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of Sergeant of Police, State of Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Congratulations.
Before handing the officers their new badges, Police Chief Calvin Williams offered the newly promoted his congratulations.
You know, policing isn't easy right now. And most of the people sitting here have been here for a while. So I don't have to tell you that. You know it. But again, I have the utmost confidence in you. I know that you'll do a great job for us. And I know that the men and women out there waiting on your leadership are definitely going to follow you because you guys deserve it.
Council President Kevin Kelly says he appreciates the work the men and women in blue put forth on a daily basis.
The course that you've taken, the life that you've chosen, I know that civilians will never understand or really appreciate what you go through on the day-to-day to get to where you are. But while I may not understand it, do know that I appreciate it, that we appreciate it.
The Cleveland Department of Aging held their 13th annual Disability Awareness Luncheon at Fairhill Partners in Cleveland. This year, the luncheon honored those who don't recognize them as having a disability, but for being of a different culture.
As we were meeting with our team and our partners and thinking about what could we draw awareness to this year, we first came to mind was Cleveland Hearing and Speech. They've recently moved offices. Their headquarters are down near the University Circle campus, and wanted to draw awareness to deaf culture and a celebration of deaf culture, and also to those who have decreased hearing loss, so where we see more in the older adult community.
The luncheon was put on in partnership with the Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center. Executive Director Dr. Janelle Vick served as the MC for the program. Dr. Vick says deaf people want the same as everybody else, to be heard.
For a person who's deaf, it may not be possible for them to read your lips. They may use American Sign Language as their language. So the best opportunity for communication is with an interpreter. But if that person's not available, if you can't get an interpreter, you can start by writing notes back and forth, as we mentioned in the program, and just do your best to be sure that the person understands. Don't dismiss the person and walk away as not being worthy of understanding. There's always a way to communicate. We do it all the time without words. So with a person who doesn't use words, there's ways of getting your point across.
Mayor Frank Jackson attended the event and spoke of the city's focus on aging and disability.
Everyone should be able to participate in whatever the quality of life, the prosperity, all those good things about the city of Cleveland. And if we don't make it intentional, if we don't do it intentionally, then it just won't happen. And so we put a lot of attention on ensuring that everyone is part of what we do in the city of Cleveland.
The keynote speech was given by Casey Ring of the Community Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Using an interpreter, Casey spoke of deaf culture.
Deaf people have their own culture comparatively to other cultures of the world. They have their own cultures just the same. But deaf culture is very deep, it's very strong. We have our own signed language, we have our own structure, we have our own grammatical structure, we have our own poems, we have everything. And is everyone in deaf culture deaf? Not necessarily. They can be.
To help the audience understand the difficulties deaf people go through on a daily basis, performance group Sign Stage performed informative and humorous skits for the crowd.
No, we don't look that bad. It's so nice to see you today. What a beautiful day it is outside. Yes, indeed. Oh, and love letter. He's got... What? You're deaf? Oh, no! He's deaf! Oh, the poor man can't hear! I feel so sorry for him now!
For more information on the Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center, visit their website at chsc.org. After years of service for the city of Cleveland, a former commissioner gets a building named after him. It was a special dedication to a man who's given so much to Cleveland, and for his service, there's a new Ozell A. Dobbins Senior Maintenance Center. Mayor Frank Jackson and other dignitaries were in attendance for the ceremony. The new maintenance center is a 30,000 square foot complex located on more than 5 acres. The $6.2 million maintenance center is LEED certified, plus it's energy efficient. The structure can hold up to 50 maintenance vehicles, plus it has a 150-car parking lot. The new facility will house several operations under one building, which allows for quicker deployment of resources. City officials say naming the new facility after Mr. Dobbins is a very deserving honor.
So I wanted to say to you, Commissioner, over the years we got to know each other. You helped me out a lot when I was a councilman, council president, and now as mayor you give me advice and you always give me good advice. And it's an honor for us to name this facility after Commissioner Ozell Dobbins, because service is what he's about.
But he's a leader. He's a leader of men and women. He has brought a lot of people along. There are certain commissioners in this town, Joe Stamps, right, John Nagy, right, that have been historic figures in this town. Most people don't even know who those people are, right? But Ozell Dobbins is one of those people. He's a legendary commissioner, a civil servant. And when the mayor tells me I need something done, and we can have a special event, you know what he says? I want to spit shine like Commissioner Dobbins would do it. That's what the mayor tells me.
I want to let you know that I appreciate your coming out in order to honor me in this celebration today. I'm not supposed to make this long, and I'm going to try to do the very best I can, because what I have been presented today and being recognized by this building, and I thank the mayor.
The new Ozell Dobbins Senior Facility also contains a salt dome with the capacity to store over 2,000 tons of salt to keep our roads safer. When flying out of Hopkins, you will now have an easier time checking in your luggage with their brand new baggage system. We spoke with Airport Director Robert Kennedy about the system that was newly rolled out.
It is a great enhancement to the guests, the passengers here. It really takes us back to the future. Remember the days when before 9/11 and you take your bag up to the ticket counter or check-in counter, and you would drop your bag off and you'd see it when you picked it up at your destination. Well, since 9/11 here at Cleveland Hopkins, you've had to then take the bag over to TSA screening. Now that's all going to happen behind the scenes like it used to. And so the bags go through this literally a million parts of the new system, and then you will pick it up at your destination. When we take the machines out of the lobby, it's going to be like almost 4,000 additional feet. Those machines, the personnel, the operations area of it, took up that much space. So they're going to have more space, more ticket counter area, check-in counter, and it's going to be a better experience for them.
And for those who have concerns about the new system,
there are a lot of people who don't embrace change, but it's going to be easier for them. It's more effective, faster. It's for the airlines that they're traveling on. There's going to be better accountability and sorting of the baggage, and it's going to be a seamless process with all the units working together.
For more information, visit clevelandairport.com. We'll be right back with more TV20 News.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? We finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to TV20 News. A local center for senior citizens got a much-needed spruce up thanks to some caring Cleveland area students. Volunteers from schools and colleges throughout the Cleveland area met up at the Eliza Bryant Village to help give the facility a fresh cleaning. The fall cleaning coincided with the 2017 National Make a Difference Day.
Eliza Bryant Village has been in operations for 121 years. We are a community for aging adults. We provide services along the continuum of care from independent housing, rehabilitation, adult day and senior outreach, and skilled nursing. Today we've partnered with Imagine Youth, and we are participating in the National Day of Service. So our seniors love when we have intergenerational activities, and so we're honored to have more than 30 youth come here today to provide a lot of beneficial services like cleaning, painting, playing games with our seniors, interacting with the seniors and the staff here at Eliza Bryant Village.
The event was coordinated and staffed by the nonprofit organization Imagine Youth.
Imagine Youth is a nonprofit organization where we bring students in the community and we introduce them to opportunities to volunteer, participate in programs. Recently we had an event with the mayor, so that we're always trying to find anything for a child 12th grade and younger to get out of their comfort zone, remove themselves from their 4-block radius, and really learn how to integrate experiences with opportunities.
The volunteers who chipped in to help make a difference at the Eliza Bryant Village vary from elementary school up to college students.
I wanted to make a difference and try and see that it's not just for grown-ups to do it, other people can try too. It don't have to just be adults, kids can do it too.
Jasmine Sims is a student at Cleveland State University and says she learned an important lesson about humanity.
Probably the importance of helping other people, not just like the everyday things we do to help other people, but like helping people in our community, like this nursing home. I personally didn't know it was here, but now that I do, and I know that I can help even a little bit, I think that's really important. And it's important for younger kids too, they're establishing a good work ethic now instead of later on in the future.
14-year-old Asher Colvin of University School perfectly summed up the positive lesson of the National Make a Difference Day.
Well, because it's good to help the community, and it's better to help the community than help ourselves.
Next spring, some Cleveland city parks will be blooming with thousands of beautiful flowering shrubs. Volunteers grabbed a shovel and gathered to plant 4,000 shrubs donated by Petiti Garden Centers in an initiative called Planting with a Purpose. The shrubs will help to beautify 6 city parks around the city. The donated shrubs were planted by volunteers from Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere, or RAKE. Mayor Frank Jackson took part in the event and thanked Petiti's for its donation, MTD Products, and the volunteers for their service. The cold, rainy weather didn't stop volunteers who dug for hours, planting hundreds of flowering shrubs called Rose of Sharon, which will help to brighten up the parks and the community.
No, we're excited. It's a partnership that we're working on, not just today, but 10 years down the road. We want to plant, 10,000, 11,000, we're total 100,000 plants and trees around the city. I love my city, not just for the sports teams, but the cities, and we want to do what we can to beautify the city.
So this is going to be fantastic. We're hoping to plant 4,000 bushes throughout the city of Cleveland. Just a great way to green up the city, something we're hoping to do every single year. So hopefully over 5-10 years, the impact that this will make over the city just be huge. Well, I think what it's going to do for the community, especially for the big parks and for the open spaces in town, it'll make them a lot more inviting and just bring people out and hopefully just create just a nice sense of well-being within the city and just be a lot of fun.
Besides Gordon and Kirtland parks, volunteers were planting at Humphrey Park and Luke Easter, plus adding shrubs to Zelma George, Gunning, and Michael Zone rec centers. October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the City of Cleveland hosted a variety of events to educate employees.
To celebrate or to honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the City of Cleveland does a week-long of different events for breast cancer awareness, and this is one of our events today. Today's event is Breast Cancer 101. We have Patrina Patterson from University Hospitals here to speak to us about breast cancer awareness.
In 2017, there have been an estimated over 250,000 new cases of breast cancer in women and over 2,400 in men. For more information, visit uhhospitals.org. Members of the Carpatho-Rusin Society Cleveland chapter gathered at the City Hall Rotunda for a celebration. The Carpatho-Rusin people were not considered a distinct ethnicity until recent times, as member of the society, Laurel Tumbazi, tells us.
This is huge for Carpatho-Rusins in the Cleveland area. It's actually a lot of firsts. Our Carpatho-Rusin flag is flying above City Hall right now. We also have a Carpatho-Rusin flag here in the Rotunda at Cleveland City Hall. We have a TV spot here for TV20, the Cleveland channel. We have photographers here and lots of dignitaries that are here too as well. We have an Ohio Senator, Michael Skindle, who is of Carpatho-Rusin heritage, and he will be our guest speaker here tonight. In 2010, the North American Consortium of Rusins joined together with 6 other cultural organizations and decided that they were going to have October 26th as the day to celebrate the stateless people of Carpatho-Rusins. This is an anniversary commemoration dating back to 1918 when Carpatho-Rusins for the first time were recognized as a valid nationality among the Mid-Eastern European Union and the United States government.
To honor the special day, proclamations were given by Alex Lackey on behalf of Mayor Frank Jackson, from Senator Michael Skindell from the Ohio State Senate, and Ray Pelota from Senator Rob Portman's office. Stay tuned to TV20 to watch the event in its entirety. Ward 16 Councilman Brian Casey hosted his 3rd annual Haunted Hollow at Jefferson Park. We asked Councilman Casey what inspired him to create the hauntingly fun event.
3 years ago, I was sitting on my porch and I was waiting for trick-or-treaters to come by, and it was scarce. And there weren't too many trick-or-treaters that came around. I knew, listening to some of the residents, that the kids wanted to trick-or-treat, but they left the neighborhood to do so. So I wanted to come up with a good, fun way to bring the neighborhood together and bring them in one spot and do their trick-or-treating. We take the park, we get volunteers from the neighborhood, businesses, and local residents. They get tables, they pass out candy, there's pumpkin carving, there's hay mazes, there's hay rides for the kids. So it's basically a safe way for the kids to come together for Halloween and enjoy the night.
Thanks for watching TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.